Hello friends, this is Ganesh. Hope you're doing great. In this video, we are going to see another interesting area called Diff or difference tool in the debugging session. Hopefully this is available only in the new debugger option and excuse me. Most of the newer versions you have this one. Okay, let's get into the slides. So the name itself, you can able to connect. This is going to be helpful to comparison or for comparison between two different data mediums. Okay. So it can be your data medium can be a variable or internal table, work area or a string. Even you can just check the object reference or instance and then data references as well. So the comparison, probably within the variable, we have a if condition. So mostly we don't worry about those areas, but we want to identify which field is having a different values, maybe in the work area, or which record is not matching with the source internal table. So suppose the comparison is happening between the work areas or between the internal table, then in that particular place we know we need to identify the exact field or the exact record where the mismatch is happening. Okay, not the same record as it's available. So in that case, yes, this diff tool is helps a lot. So that's what we are going to see, but that helps to compare the values from the variables level also. Okay, and the comparison is happening between the types and then content as well. Suppose a variable is declared as an integer and character, yes, that is also considered as a difference between two different variables. And then content, so if there is any change in the value, that also record as yes, this is going to be um, change is happening between two variables or two data mediums. And as this is a part of debugging, you have an option to download it, really the results if you want to compare, if you want to for a future reference, yes, you're able to download it as well. Okay, and then this is available in the new debugger. So I don't have much examples here. We'll get into the system and see about the variables, strings, all the 6 different areas. And then in the diff tool or difference tool options, we have as detailed views. Suppose we are comparing, mostly I'm saying it's useful for the bigger areas like work area or internal table. So I want to compare exactly two different internal tables. Yes, that is possible using a detailed view. Okay, I have 10 records, example, 10 and 10 records. Maybe the 7th record is having a different value. So I want to compare it simultaneously, both the internal tables. Yes, that is possible using a concept called detailed view. So we have an option on it. And history and compare above variables is another option. So you can see what are the comparisons you have made in the history tab. And above compare above variables is a place where normally you have to use the two different data mediums for comparisons. And start comparison is a button or a link it has. I feel it's not an auto refresh. So you want to know in which line exactly I want to start the comparison. Yes, you can do it. But each line, if you want to compare, normally we don't do it. But if you want to do a more than one comparison, you have to use the start comparison button for every time. Whenever you want to do a comparison, yes, I want to compare a 10th line, I want to compare the 20th or 30th line. So once the cursor reached or once the cursor crossed the exact line you want to start comparison, you have to use this start comparison option to just comparing the values. And yeah, that's it. And then a few options probably I will run through in the system for the more options. Okay, let's get into the system now. So this is my rental system and I have a simple program, easy to understand. The first two lines, 9 and 12. I have two different variables, A1 and B1 with same data type and the values also same. So first we understand how the comparison or diff tool, difference tool shows the values, the process for these two variables, A1 and B1. Then I have another two variables A2 and B2 which has the same data type but the length is different, character 1 and character 2, and the value is also different, 10 and 20. Okay, then we'll see how this is reflects in diff tool. So finally I have a breakpoint, but I need a breakpoint in line number 12 also. Have a breakpoint and execute it. So it will open a new ABAP debugger. I already mentioned this is available in new debugger, and this is enclosed. The diff tool has been enclosed as one of the tab. Okay, so just go here, and it's pretty simple to understand. You have two options: variable 1 and variable 2. It can be a variable, work area, reference variable, or an internal table, depends on your business need. And there are two tabs here: history. Currently it this particular screen is not filled, so once you start comparing it, the history is also getting accumulated. So first I'm going to see A1 and B1. Enter. So once you enter, and these two are valid variables because there is a scope, right? You know about it, within subroutine and more after the subroutine. So if the variables are in scope and the cursor is currently in line number 12, so as per this line number 12, the variables whatever I entered is valid. For example, if I entered B12, this is not a valid variable. It shows very clearly it does not exist. If it is not variable, either one of the variable is not valid, you are not able to see the start comparison option. Okay. Enter. Yes, start comparison and display. So these things are available here. So now what I'm going to do is I want to keep the diff tool currently. Okay, before that I'll do this start comparison. It shows no value difference were found. So the line number 12, the declaration is done. The values are not assigned. So as per the declaration, this A1 and B1 variables has same data type. So that's what the meaning is. There is no difference either in the content level or in the structure level. There is no difference is encountered by this diff tool. Okay. So now you want to make both. I want to see the code as well as my diff tool. Then what you can do is use this option, new tool option, and use source code. So then the both screens are visible in the same one, or both sessions are visible in the same screen. As my screen is a little smaller, if you have a bigger monitor, yes, you are able to see very clearly. Okay, so the cursor is in line number 12. So the values are currently empty over here. So I'm going to press F5, go to the next executable statement, line number 18. So the values are changed here. Sorry, the values are filled 30, 30. Let me close this. Again, I have to click start comparison because it is not getting auto refresh for every line, but it is not required because you have thousands of lines in the coding. Why start comparison has to work for every lines, right? Whenever there is a need, you can click and just compare the values between two variables. So still, I'm not getting any change because there is no change in the values. There is no change in the data type. Okay. So now let me change to A2. And B2. Okay, start comparison in line number 18. So line number 18, before that line number 18, already the declaration happened between these A2 and B2 variables. So there is a message saying that the elements have different length. Data type is same, character. So only the change only in the length. So it identified there is a change in the length of the variables. A2 is 1, B2 is 2. Okay, let's see how one more example with a different data type and see what is the message is getting captured in this diff tool. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to press F5. I'm not going to open a new tool because you know how to have the source code as well as your diff tool in the same screen. I'm going to press F5. Okay, it just moved out. I'm going to click again start comparison. So it captured one more saying that the elements have different contents. Yes, which location is had different content. Okay, it shows here A1 is of it's 10 and it's 20. The reason is, what is the character? Okay, character 1, I'm giving more than one way value, so that could be the reason. So what is this here? Because this could be another example. Let me do one thing. Quickly change this to character 2. Okay, and execute. F5. Okay, now go to diff A2 B2 start comparison. So here so is 1 and 2. It shows very clearly 0 of 1. So the first position has a different value because the value I assigned is 10 and 20. So it's clearly mentioned the difference is only in the first position, not the entire thing it mentioned. Very clearly mentioned where the changes are, where the difference is actually happening between two variables. So that's what I mentioned. 0 of 1 is 1 and 2. It's not saying 10 and 20. Okay. Yeah, that could be the reason I want to show you with character 2 data type. And here you can see the first line is missing compared to the previous example. So previous time we ran, it has 2 because I just clicked start comparison before this statement also. So each statement, it recognizes what has changed, not the entire thing. So if you want to see line by line, you have to use the start comparison button one by one again. Okay. And now go to history. Why history is not updating here? It should be an ALV table. I'm not sure why the system, because I tried other one, it worked. Okay, maybe it's pretty simple, nothing much to do here. You can see the history is once you added the line A1, A2, B1, B2, it is loaded here also. What are the variables you added it? Okay, pretty simple. And then final one over here is the display button. So I want to see the details of A1 and A2. Here is a variable, it's pretty simple, but this display is really useful when you start working with work area or body of an internal table. Just click it, you will get two more windows in the same screen. So the details of two different variables. What is A2, what is the data type and everything. Okay. Nothing much on this type. Let's see this again whenever you start working with work area. Okay, now execute it. So now what I'm going to do is change into 2. Have a, come on, okay, activate it and have a breakpoint here. So now it shows there is a change in the structure as well. So go here, A2, B2, start comparison. So there are different types. Okay, it shows clearly. So A2 is integer and B2 is character. Okay, so it captured structure and the length as well as the content of the variable. Okay, so now let's have a work area. Data work area type Mara. Select single star from Mara. Okay, into we can go with this also. Data work area 1. I don't want this. And now what I'm going to say is work area 2 equal to work area 1 to be declared. Okay. So here I'm saying clear work area 2 hyphen mtart and one more clear work area 2 hyphen matk. So let's see how this works in the comparison tool. Okay, let's execute it. So my cursor is in before the declaration WA1, WA2. It's still is valid because it's available in the particular program. Okay, start comparison. Nothing, no values difference were found so far. Okay, so I didn't open the source code here because it's I had to open and close it. And go to F5. Okay, so now go to diff, start comparison. Everything has difference because WA1 had got filled, W2 is still empty. So each line, each field, not line, each field has a different value because of W2 doesn't have any value. That is the reason it shows very clearly. So this field also has a different, this field also different, the entire 0 of 18, the entire thing, because W2 is empty, WA1 has some values, okay? So now let's go to the next line, F5. Okay, now go to Diff tool and start comparison. No values because assignment operator, so all the WA1 content is moved to WA2. Okay, now go to the next line. So next line, I'm trying to clear one field from WA2. Go to Diff and start comparison. I'm expecting only one field to be showed here. Yes, exactly, it showed. This field has a different value. So the first one is pipe and WA2 as empty now. I'm going to press F5 now. Okay, so expecting the next clear statement also executed, then do the start comparison. One more line has been added with a different field name. MATKL is also has a difference in the values. Okay, difference in the contents. So this field. So this is pretty much useful. The diff tool is pretty much useful more than a variable time like work area or a body of an internal table. Yes, this works better. Now let's full execution have an internal table. Okay, select start from Mara into table data IT1. Maybe I go with little lesser, just a time consuming, nothing big. Okay, data IT2 equal to IT1. Okay, so anyway it's a body, so I don't want to use the bracket symbol over here. Exact word it. Okay, before that delete IT2 index 5. I believe I'm having some data, otherwise I'm getting it dump. I will get it dump. IT2 index 5. Okay, act toward it. Okay, keep the cursor, keep the breakpoint here also. Execute. Go to the diff IT1 IT2. Start comparison. Okay, nothing. So go here, FI, okay, FI. Okay, now go to diff, start comparison. Same like the work area, it shows all the field has a value. So different number of rows is 20 because I used up to 20 rows. So IT1 is filled with 20 lines and IT2 doesn't have anything. So that could be the reason it shows IT1 has 20 numbers, IT2 is empty. Okay, you don't want to show it's empty. Anyway, there's no records. It's just display in the row level, different in the number of rows. Now go to desktop 3 one more time. Now it shows no difference. Start comparison. Yeah, no difference. Now let me execute the delete statement. So it should delete the fifth line, F5. Okay, now go to diff and start comparing. It shows clearly number of rows has different, 20 and 19. Okay, so once it reaches that particular fifth line of IT1, it start comparing. This is deleted, so it's the sixth line, obviously the sixth line. So the comparison happens every field. Yes, that is a different values. Sometimes there may be a chance, maybe a different same date, same username. If that is the case, yeah, it's fine, but still unfortunately it has a different usernames. So this is a way you can compare very effectively, especially for work area and body of an internal table. One more best part over here is I want to compare with the detail. So this it's work very good in work area or body of internal table. Just click it. You will get IT1 and IT2 over here. Yeah, and before that, if you see the values as well, so it's 20 and 19. And currently the cursor is in the first line, different number of rows. So you can see IT1 in details, IT1 columns 1 out of 50. Okay. And if you come down a little bit, so if you have a bigger monitor, it would be better, or it's fine. I just go here a little down. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the down arrow in my diff tool. Okay, then it automatically pick the row which is having the exact change. So now I'm in the first one, it shows number of rows, so it's number of rows, column 1 and 50. I'm going to click the next hit. It's automatically changed here as well. The next hit says the element have different contents, where which row, the row is number 5. So automatically both screens are changed to number 5 and number 5 here. Okay, and also it mentioned which column. The second column has a different value, MAT and R. MAT is same in both the records, so material is different. So that's what it shows here. And if you press one more time, and it shows column 3. Okay, 1 minute. Next hit. Yeah, it shows column 3 and there is a change. The row is same, the column 3, there is a change even in the creation date as well. So next expected is column 4 because time also got changed. Click it here. Okay, so column 4 is also changed. Year name, yes, LED, or everything has a different. Okay, I want to show you after MENDT is any column is getting skipped, so we can understand those columns has the same value 5, 6. AE name, yes. Oh, probably this might skip. VP STM might skip because it's K here also K. Let's see. Column 6 has a different value and hit it. AE name, yes, is empty and filled. And now again next to hit is 11. So 7, 8, 9, 10, the remaining, the between columns has the same value, so it won't consider those things. So it's very clearly mentioned if you have a number of fields is more, if you want to do the comparison. So this detail view works better. Okay, this one detail views works better. It's always connected. So sometimes it may have even the scroll also working perfectly. Suppose if you change the number of like fifth row has some change value and 10th row, automatically the scrolls also working perfectly. Probably if you scroll here, I'm not able to make it here. The scroll down also happening only in the diff tool, not here. Okay, so if you have a bigger one, yes, you can try that also. Simultaneously both will just scroll up, depends on your number of rows in your internal table. Okay, so and here you have an option. Let me close this. Okay, I didn't close it. Okay, so here you have an option save to local file. So if you want, you can just save this to a local file as well. So if this comparisons, if you want to list it in the Excel file, then yes, you can make it. 1 to 50. It's taking time. So go to desktop, diff.xls. Okay, save it. So now go to desktop. It's transferring still. Just allow. Completed. So go to desktop, diff tool, the Excel file. So it has the statements, whatever you are seeing in the diff tool. So those statements are displayed in the Excel as well. So this is for your future reference. here you can see the ones. Okay. So which field has a different, and what are the values between two different data mediums. So yeah, this is most of the things which we are trying, and quickly we are going to try with some reference variables. Okay. So I have the code for data reference. So here, one data reference for I created as IV1 and 2, and currently here I'm not having that two different same reference for both the variables. So everything is same, only the values are getting changed. But here still the reference is getting changed as well. So act toward it, and let's have a breakpoint here. Execute. LV underscore 1 and LV underscore 2. Start comparison. So no values were found so far. Okay. F5, start comparisons. Okay, let me see. Okay, cursor is here. So F8, yes. Now go to diff and do the start comparison. So there is a different data object. So you can see the declaration, because of two different data references, right? So even the values are getting changed. So now if you see, press F5 one more time, values are getting added. Start comparison. One more statement comes saying that different contents. Okay. So this has 20 and the other one has 30. Okay, not a problem. So now if you enable the statement here, just copy the same reference. Okay, back toward it. Execute. Execute. Yes. Now go to diff. LV2. Start comparison. So no values, no difference in the values. Okay. Yes, because I have the same reference. So if you press F5, only the values are getting changed. Yep. So 30 is the final one because the reference are same. So if you assign 30, automatically it's getting assigned to the same, because the reference is same, is assigned to the another data reference variable also. For a quick reference, if you change this one, okay. So line by line, so I was able to understand quickly. Execute it. Okay. Now go to diff. One and LV underscore 2. Start comparison. So no values have found. F5, start comparison. Still no values because 20 do both has a same reference. So that's what, if you assign 20 to LV1, automatically this goes to LV2 also because the reference is same. One more F5, start comparison, values getting changed, but there is no difference in this reference, even the structure as well as in the content. So this is one of the way to compare the data reference as well. So I just created a class, empty class, it doesn't have any method. So instance class. So I'm going to have two different objects. So let's see, it's in the diff tool. Because you have an option to check object instance or object reference variable also. Object 1, object 2, start comparison. So currently nothing. So go to desktop tree, or you can open the tool as well here. So I'm getting the values. Diff start comparison. So here you have a different object. So one is initial, the values are here. One is initial, one is it's get assigned, and one more fi start comparison. So different object instance. So this also have a different object instance, and this have a different object instance. So that way it just getting compared. So these are the options you have to do the comparison in diff tool, variables, work area, internal table, or reference variable, or object instance. Okay, so probably this might be useful if you have more content in internal table and like a lot of fields in a work area. You want to exactly know which field has what type of values get deferred. So this option might be useful for that. And hope this video might be useful. And thank you so much for your time. See you in the next video. Bye.